Welcome to video 3 about skills and resources for greater belonging. You may be thinking, okay, I get that belonging is important, and social support and capitalization sounds helpful. But how do we go about socializing and building relationships? I am awkward in social settings. Not everyone is a social butterfly. In fact, almost everyone I know identifies themselves as an awkward person. Even I feel awkward, especially when I interact with the new people. In this module, we discuss some skill and resources we can utilize at the University of Alberta and in the community that help us enhance our sense of belonging. To begin, it is important to remind ourselves that many people are actually nice and welcoming. This is especially so when we socialize in leisure context. Research shows that leisure serves as a social lubricant. That is, fun makes socialization smooth and enjoyable. In terms of interaction with the recreation staff, I have met hundreds of recreation professionals, and many of them are fun and welcoming. So when you reach out, I understand that you feel nervous. But remember, many people will welcome you if you simply talk to them, call them, or send them an email. And let me share my story. During the pandemic, I started to play an online game called Final Fantasy XIV. It is a massively multiplayer role-playing game, so part of the fun is to play with others. At the beginning though, I did not belong to any community. One day, a player messaged me in a game saying that I did a good job when we played together randomly. I thanked him and he invited me to his group. His group has a Discord server where some group members use the voice chats to interact while playing the game. At first, I was shy about voice chat. I mean, I didn't know these people and I was totally new to the game. So what if we don't have anything in common to talk about? But one evening, I got on the voice chat. They were very welcoming. The person who invited me to the group gave me the tour of their group's house in the game. Many people gave me tips about the game. And fast forward to today, I talk to these new friends several times a week. They are my good friends, although I have never met them in person. This could happen to you. There are many groups and communities available to all of us. We encourage you to keep going until you find the one that makes you feel at home. Perhaps one of the most important social skills is self-introduction. By definition, when we introduce ourselves, we are meeting someone new. We may be nervous, and probably they're nervous too. Let me share a few things that I am thinking about when I introduce myself. First, I think that it's important to make ourselves stand out in introduction. What makes you unique in a given social context? What helps the other person remember you next time when you see each other? Often, we use our work or degree as part of our introductions. For example, I could introduce myself. Hello, my name is Shin. I'm a professor in the Faculty of Kinesiology, Sport, and Recreation. Well, there are dozens of professors in this faculty. This may not help them remember me next time. Alternatively, I could introduce myself and share my new hobby of online gaming. Now this could be unique and memorable. Next time, perhaps people would say, "Oh, you're the gaming professor." This example also shows that our leisure can be part of our introduction. This is because we're often passionate about our leisure. We value our leisure. Sometimes our leisure is part of our identity. So why not to use it in our introduction? If you incorporate your leisure into your introduction, what would it be? Lastly, we have to know that what makes us unique depends on social context. For example, if I introduce myself as a gamer in a work meeting, many people would be surprised and would remember me. But if I do that with other gamers, that would not be unique, of course. Perhaps gamers would remember my professor persona better. So think about several aspects of yourself that you could use in your introduction. And depending on the social context, use something that makes you unique. Suppose you are going to an outdoor recreation event. There would be many nature lovers. How could you introduce yourself to make yourself stand out and connect with others? Preparing like this in advance could make your introductions more relaxing and effective. There are different roles involved in a socialization, and we cannot just take one role. Two main roles are the speakers and the listeners. And we cannot just be, say, speakers. Have you met someone who just talks about themselves? I have. Although we may be able to avoid awkward silence, being the speaker all the time is not an effective way to build relationships. First, we cannot learn about others. Second, people can interpret such behavior as being rude. I have observed many people tend to be good at speaking about themselves, but less good at listening. So it is important to work on our listening skills. Specifically, we need attentive listening skills. With these skills, people know that we care about them, we understand them, and we enjoy the conversation. Attentive listening is closely related to two basic modes of communication: verbal and nonverbal. Verbal communication is anything that involves our voice, while nonverbal does not. In terms of verbal communication, we can say "uh-huh" or "really" to suggest that we're listening and understanding. We could also ask follow-up questions to suggest that we're interested in the topic and want to learn more. If we cannot think of questions, say, "Tell me more about that." This shows our engagement and interest. It's important to use these verbal cues sparsely so that someone with whom we're talking does not feel that they're interrupted. With regards to nonverbal skills, we can nod to show that we are following their statements. We can smile to show that we are enjoying our conversation, and widen our eyes to show surprise. Beyond facial expressions, our posture is also important. If we stand like this, people may not think that we're interested in conversation. Instead, this may suggest that we are curious. And finally, eye contact is such an important way to show that we care about the other person. There is one important thing that can affect the quality of our interaction: technologies, specifically our smartphone. Again, how many times have you been talking to someone and that person started to use their phone in front of you? How did that make you feel? It's important that we do not make others feel that same way. If we have to use our phone for some reason, we can excuse ourselves. Otherwise, we can work to reduce the urge to check that ding from our phone. A message will still be there in 10 minutes. A post on Instagram, Snapchat, or Twitter would be there too. And if not, does it really deserve our attention? The person in front of us is here now. Personally, I would think that the person with whom we're speaking is far more interesting than the pictures on social media. That being said though, technologies do not have to be our enemies when it comes to relationship building. There are many groups that will have social media accounts like Facebook group, Twitter, Instagram, and Discord. We can use them to stay updated about important notifications. Perhaps you attended an event with the student group. You can post a picture from the event to share positive memories. You can connect with someone you met at the event through social media, and perhaps go together to another event in which you both are interested. Lastly, I wanted to share tips about something I struggled with when I was a student: saying no to invitations. We are often happy when we are invited to new events or opportunities. We may feel as if we have to be there. We may feel that we don't want to let others down. And more importantly, we don't want to miss out on fun events, right? But when we started to say yes to everything to which we are invited, our calendar quickly fills up. As much as we need to satisfy the sense of belonging, we also need time to ourselves. There are also other responsibilities, including our studies, work, and family. So it's acceptable to say no to some invitations. The key is to say no respectfully. For example, we can say something like, "Thank you for inviting me to this social. It sounds like a fun event, but unfortunately, I have other commitments, so I cannot make it. Well, let me know if anything else comes up." Think about how many social events can you attend per week without feeling exhausted and stressed out. Give yourself a social budget. Perhaps 3 events per week. Prioritize what is more important, perhaps in terms of social support and capitalization, and respectfully say no to other invitations. In addition to these social skills, there are some resources and opportunities available at the University of Alberta and in the communities outside. First, there are hundreds of student groups at the U of A. There is a website called Bears Den that lists official student groups recognized by the U of A Students' Union. You can check out the groups and connect those in which you are interested. Bears Den is a great resource because these student groups have completed a formal registration process, so they tend to be reputable. Of course, there are many more informal student groups. You could search them by using Google and social media such as Facebook group. Also, if you visited the campus in person, did you notice that there are many flyers on the walls of the building? If you have some time, take a look at them. You may find information on interesting student groups. The campus and community recreation is also a helpful service. They have many group activity programs in which you can meet other students with similar interest. Also, they have exercise buddy program. There are many intramural sports leagues as well. The city of Edmonton is large and offers many groups, organizations, and spaces to meet up. A great benefit of using these non-university opportunities is that your friends won't be all U of A students. Sometimes you want to talk to others who have different experiences and their perspectives. Or you may be passionate about something that is not so common among students. There are municipal recreation facilities with many group programs. There are many art communities in Edmonton. We have numerous sports groups. What group would be your favorite? Like my gaming example, we can seek virtual groups too. Research suggests that online groups can help us with the mental health challenges, sometimes precisely because we can be somewhat anonymous. We may be able to share things we don't feel comfortable sharing with our family and friends in person. In this module, let's try 2 different activities. First, we want you to practice characterization. Try to share some good things that happened to you with someone close to you. Let's try that 3 times. And if something good happens to someone you know, be the person with whom they can capitalize. Remember to be engaging and constructive. Share how your capitalization attempts went through the discussion forum. Second, when you post on a discussion forum, also tell us some of the communities you belong to or the groups you may want to belong to in the future. This way, we will have a great list of potential communities for all of us.